What's up, everybody? I am Tiffany Renee, your host.
Your boy Derek Brown back at it again,
And
time and time again, at it to win. You know what I'm
you're-
saying?
And you're watching the Net Pod. Clearly, he has all the energy this evening. Isn't that right?
Sure enough.
So today, y'all, we are talking about not going to bed angry in relationships, and about forgiveness and forgetting. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question, and I want you to be honest.
When do I lie?
You never lie.
I do lie sometimes.
You never lied to me. You be lying to me?
Yeah, sometimes.
What you be lying about?
Now it's not the time for us to discuss air out our dirty
I
laundry.
want to hear.
I had to lie to you about your surprise party.
That's different.
I probably lied about something else. You probably was like, "You're not texting and driving, are you?"
Oh, most of the time when he lies like that, I know you lying.
Well, at least I told the truth about lying.
That doesn't make it better. You shouldn't lie. That is the problem, the lying.
Anyway.
Not whether or not you told the truth about the lying.
Anyway, the viewers are waiting for us to get to the point.
The point is not to lie to me. Anyway, so recently, we have been working on what?
I was moving my toes. I gotta crop that out in the video. That's not okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Recently, we've been working on holding each other accountable when we decide to do things differently in our relationship. And shout out to my man because he helps me to see that I was reverting back to my old ways. You basically check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because you checked me. We had a disagreement and I was feeling some type of way. And I am big on not bringing our private into public. I know that's weird to say, and we're doing a whole podcast. But when there's an issue out in public and...
I hope the mic didn't pick that up. I like nothing happened. Go ahead.
When there is an issue out in public, I am the person that's going to recognize it's an issue and not want to discuss it right then. However, I am not the best at hiding my feelings, especially with this one. And part of it is because I want him to know that there's an issue. And then another part of it is me just not wanting everybody else to be like, oh, there's an issue. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
So, for instance, let's say we were out in public and you said something that offended me. Or we had made a plan to do something and then someone else asked if we could, do something for them at the same time. And you was like, yeah, da, 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 da. And I'm like, no, we already got, yeah. And let's say they weren't invited to whatever we planning. We got to work on our codes or whatever. But I'm immediately like, why would you tell them that, why you ain't consult me first before telling them, oh, it's cool, we'll do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not always the best to say that in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to find a balance because he's the type of person, if there's an issue, he wants you to say it right then and there.
Yeah, I need to know. Don't tell me we're going to talk about it later because then I'm going to be thinking about it later all the time.
And it literally
bothers me.
It bothers him.
And shifts my entire mood. It
shifts the entire mood for the rest of the day. And that's what we're working on, finding a middle ground. And we're doing better, a lot better with it because I can tell him, he can sense my demeanor and he'd be like, hey, you good? What's wrong? Did I say something? Did I do something? And my response can be like, yes, but we'll talk about it later.
Immediately pissed.
immediately.
What do you mean later?
Other people are talking, we could be at a whole concert, mood shot.
Don't care. I want to go
And
home.
so I am trying to encourage him to accept that when I say that, if it was something that was so detrimental to our relationship, I would take the time to pull him aside.
See, I think the problem lies. Well, no, I think I'm gonna let y'all in on the problem too. The problem is I have a very unique capability to just brush shit off the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But that comes with, like, when I let it go, I genuinely let it go. Like, I don't care no more. And I know that I can't do that with whatever we are going through because I can't give her, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's not gonna work. Um, so that's why I try to kind of get to the bottom of it right then and there. Because if I get to the point where I don't care no more, even when she's ready to talk about it, it's kind of, for me, I'm like, that shit was like 3 hours ago. It's cool. Like, we don't even got to talk about it. But she is bringing it up because we do need to talk about it because she needs more. We need to figure out what the root problem was, how to avoid it going on in the future, things of that nature. So it's a progress. It's a process as well.
I think it's also important to recognize that if those things, it's easy for you to brush them off when they're not repeatedly happening.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to be upset and you asked, and then, I'm like, let's talk about it later, and then you just brushed it off, and then the next day it happened, and then the next day it happened, and then the next day, eventually it's going to eat up at you to the point where you're not going to be able to just brush it off, and then it's a bigger issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so we haven't had that recently. What?
Had to make sure I wasn't coming up on mic so the folks can hear me.
We haven't had that recently, but when those times have been had, I saw how it shifted us, and so I want to make sure that going forward that doesn't happen. But also, just because you operate that way doesn't mean that I operate that way,
Right.
and so we have to operate in a certain form together.
Mm-hmm.
And so our compromise has been, if there's an issue, he has to accept me saying we'll talk about it later. And then I have to be willing to actually let later be quicker than I usually want it to be, because um, that's me meeting him in the middle. So if something would were to happen at a dinner party, right? He has to be okay with me saying we'll talk about it later, because right now we're at a dinner party for somebody else's birthday. It's not about us. This is not the scene. This is not the time. You mentioned one thing and we in a deep conversation, and other people think they can put their opinions in. No. This, we're gonna keep this in the house. But when we get in the vehicle,
She turned the volume all the way up on the music, and we drive home, and she ain't got time to explain what it was that was bothering her. She looking at me. Hey, girl.
when we get in the vehicle or while we're walking to the vehicle, that's my moment to bring up what has happened. And I would love if my partner wouldn't just brush me off or just say he's over it. So then when we get in the car, we're actually discussing it, and I'm not turning the music all the way up.
It's give and take, it's 50-50. It takes a village,
I say all that to say that I think it's very important to forgive and for you not to count the wrongdoings in the relationship.
Sure.
Like,
for sure.
Oh, so this is second time doing this is third time doing this is first time doing it. However, I do think that you need to take note of the wrongdoing. So don't count how many times, but forgive, but don't forget.
Right. I'll give y'all a perfect example. Let's say I forget to take out the trash, right? Countless times. But let's really think about why. Did I just get off of work? Am I tired? Do I have an assignment? And I just told myself, you know what? I'll take it out tomorrow. We just got to think about certain aspects of life sometimes.
Yes, we do.
And after a while, once your friends come to you and say, hey, you know, your girlfriend at the time has been cussing you out in third party. You should probably take the trash out. Then it's like, okay. But this ain't happened to me though. I'm just saying.
What he's saying is whatever matters to you in your relationship, make sure you implement and you set that boundary. And no matter what, you set that foundation so going forward, things are addressed appropriately. But eventually, when y'all get to that state, you'll recognize that some things like taking out the trash can be shared duties. And so you might say, okay, I'm going to pick up on that task now and I'll take the trash out today because it's no big deal. We're in a house with 8 kids. He work, I work, we got businesses, we got this and that. Like,
Who
it
got
just
eight
got to get
kids?
done.
You know somebody with 8 kids for real?
No.
Oh, I was about to say that is a strong-willed person. 8 kids is a lot. I'm sorry, but yeah, no, for real. On a more serious note,
Like, sometimes I might not want to cook dinner. I might be tired. I might have stuff that I'm going to do or I want to do. And it's not, well, in our relationship, we have roles essentially. Um, but stuff like that is like teamwork. Like, we both got to take care of our household.
mm-hmm.
We both got to clean up. We both got to take out the trash. God forbid, which for us in particular, the grass is something that he takes pride in doing. However, if he was out of town for a month, I'm not just gonna let the grass grow. Like, I know how to cut grass. I'm gonna get out there on that lawnmower and cut the grass because I'm gonna make sure I hold our house down while he's away. So that's it.
She just preached. So that's it. That's it. That's all. But nah, so we've also implemented, in addition to everything that we've said, of course, we've implemented, or at least we're attempting to, or on the track to, not unborn.
He boring me, y'all. I'm just playing.
Any fucking way. So we told ourselves that,
What's
we're not
crazy
gonna go to bed angry.
is if we're actually boring them. But who cares? You watching this still, so
Why are we boring them?
I'm just saying because I was saying you watch. I'll get to it.
Um. Anyway, so we've told ourselves like, yeah, we're not gonna go to bed angry or upset or with problems that linger. And so for me, a lot of the times, if I feel some type of way or there's something that bothers me and we're not in the space to talk about it right then and there, like she said, my mood shifts, but I legit shut down. Hood on, AirPods in, I'm not saying a word, which is a problem. And so we've recognized that that's a problem because 9 times out of 10, well, let me not say 9 times out of 10. We recognize that it's a problem because we both do it. And then when we both do it, it affects the other person the same way. Mm-hmm. So if I decide I want to shut down, I don't want to say nothing, and I'm giving off the vibes of leave me alone, I don't want to talk, she picks up on that. And she's like, okay, you don't want to talk? Cool. And vice versa. That don't solve nothing. And so we've talked and said at the very least, if it's something that happened at 10 a.m. and it's been eating up at us and, we kind of needed our space or we didn't need to talk for a little bit, before we decide to call it a night and go to bed, at the very least, we got to talk about what happened. Why are we good? We not good? Do you need space? Can we talk about it? What's the problem? What's the solution? What can I do to prevent this from happening again?
Very solution focused.
Yeah, so that is something that I believe that we pride ourselves on. And again, it's a work in progress. We are not perfect.
And I think it comes with time for sure and different situations for you to be like, okay, now that's something that we gotta talk about, whatever. But also, sorry, I thought somebody was at the door. It's the other house.
It's the other house. Don't ever play with her. She got 2 houses.
Crap. Oh yeah, it takes time and it takes a lot of inner work. So I expressed to him that one thing that I'm learning is 9 times out of 10, me shutting down isn't necessarily because of him, but because of me. Because I might be saying something to him and he doesn't react in the way that I want him to. And so I'm immediately like, F it, I don't want to talk about it no more. But how it affects me might not be the same way it affects you. And so I have to be comfortable enough to be uncomfortable and say, you know what? I don't like how you're responding to me, just voicing my opinion, um, and letting you know how I feel about that situation. So I'm going to give you time to ponder on the thoughts that you have, the situation, and then I would like to revisit this when you're ready, right? Versus just saying, okay, so now you're shutting down. So fuck it. Excuse my French, but basically,
They didn't already seen the view of you choking on a pineapple. They know you a sailor now.
I am not a little yachty, okay? Um, I just think it just takes a lot of personal work,
For sure.
and that is the only way that relationships will continue to flourish if both people are growing individually and together.
For sure.
Um, so that's one thing that I am constantly telling myself and constantly working on. And just recognizing that we're just different, but at the end of the day, we only have each other. And in order for us to keep one another, we got to talk to each other. Like, if it's an issue, just say that. You are the last person that I ever want to hurt. And I know I'm the last person that you ever want to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether I did something and you feel like it was intentional, or whether I did something and it was unintentional, but it stabbed you like real, real hard, let me know.
Hurt to the core. That's what I'm gonna do if I feel like you stabbed me. What? That's my little code. Code joint. Ain't it?
Mm,
She's part
or
animal
cow.
something. That was. I'm gonna
Um,
make another snippet of all the noises that she makes, so that y'all can see what we go through every day in this house. And when I say we, I mean me and my multiple personalities.
yeah, you have multiple personalities, and then I have multiple uh uh
Multiple stupidalities.
multiple something that I seek
Sclerosis.
in order for me to digest the person that you provide
What?
in my face.
Don't act like you ain't got multiple personalities too.
I don't.
Are you for real right now? You gonna sit here and lie on the camera?
Okay, maybe I have like, I want to say multiple personalities. I just give off different vibes sometimes.
Different versions of yourself. Which okay.
When a man is fed up. Are you fed up?
No, I'm not fed up. Um, well, just to give y'all some insight, we may or may not post this video. Who knows? We got to see what the quality is like. We got these new mics from TikTok, from the TikTok shop. Everybody was going crazy over the mics from the TikTok shop, so we went and got some of these mics from the TikTok shop. Now, mind you, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a little disclaimer. When you see these ads on the TikTok shop, please make sure you buy the right quantity. Because I thought that it was one mic per box. So I got 4 boxes. It's 2 mics per box. So I got 8 by mistake.
This is also the person, y'all, and
Why
I love him.
why is it about me now?
I
Now all of a
love
sudden it's
him
about me.
from the bottom to the top. But he moves really fast. don't you?
You do too. It's the wedding planned. I'm just not finding out about it.
Boy, he moves really fast when he does things. And so sometimes he'll ask me like, "Hey babe, where is this?" or "How I do this?" or "I got da da da." And I'm like, "Yes, baby, if you just slow down." This man will get up in the morning, grab his stuff, get ready, put shoes on, go out the door, and he at the car. Damn it, left my keys.
I feel like that's a
Damn it,
common problem.
phone's still on the charger.
I feel like those
Damn
are
it,
common
wallet
problems.
is sitting on the thing over
I don't
here.
leave my wallet no more because I got an AirTag.
You can still leave your wallet. The AirTag doesn't alert you that
Yes,
your
it
wallet
does.
is left.
Yes, I do.
Not when you at the car.
I'll be like 5 feet. What? Your wallet? I'll be like, oh, that right. But I ain't left my wallet in a long time. She cap. All she do is cap.
That's because I've been on him like, sir, you can
All
be
she do is cap.
also the king of not having gas. You can be exactly on the way to work somewhere and you need your wallet.
Right. But I be having my wallet.
Now,
So I don't see the problem.
I say all that to say, I know he done got 8 instead of 4 because he probably was like, yeah, just looking at the videos, listening to what people saying about it, and instead of scrolling down and clicking the description part and reading all of that.
I read the description. There had to have been a typo. I'm convinced. The picture had 1. It said, how many do you want? 1. Not my fault. Anyway, if y'all want to be on the show, we got hella mics. That's the moral of the story. We got dumb mics for y'all. Y'all come and tap in. We'll post this, see what the quality like on the audio. And yeah, whoever made these, good looking out. Might be a little promo. Might be a little tip.
Yeah, I'm tied down.
Listen, the lady is a grandma. When the sun set, her bones get weak. She want to get. We're gonna get there, but I gotta tell y'all about this blanket she got. That's like a fishnet. But we gonna get there when we get there, because I want to make sure I get that on camera so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Y'all can be like, why is she in? That's the fishnet blanket.
And sometimes, well, recently, I haven't been taking off like my bracelet, or I might forget to take my ring off. It got so many pulls in it.
Like
I'm so sad. I ain't letting it go though. Mind you, just a couple hours ago, what a net
Hey, whoa, turn your mic off.
Who was asking
Turn
that?
your mic off. I was trying to wash it.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was covered in it.
In the blood of Christ.
No, he was covered in the net. Taking a nap.
No, she talking about the podcast.
No.
I was thinking about promo.
No, I'm definitely talking about the blanket. What's up?
What's up? The fuck?
That's a comfy blanket though.
It's alright. Now the blanket her mama made me, it's just not big enough.
Yeah,
it only cover my legs. But she didn't know.
She can add squares to it and make it bigger. But we got on this topic, y'all. We got so sidetracked, but we started talking about this because we just left his uncle's wedding.
Shouts out to the new Brunsons.
Yeah,
the new Brunsons.
Beautiful ceremony, and you just, when you're around so many people with wisdom, everything happens for a reason, and God places you in spaces with people to give you the reminders that you need. And so I got in that vehicle and I was like, you know what? This is another reminder that I needed for myself to apply to my life, our relationship.
So to give you some more insight, because I feel like she think y'all was there. When we were at my uncle's wedding, they touched on, so my mother's side is extremely, well, I won't say, yeah, my mother's side is extremely religious, very strong passion in Christ, and my grandmother is actually an evangelist as well, and so my uncle that got married is her son. My grandfather has passed away, and so the holistic and literally the holy aspect of a marriage is something that they put emphasis on. And while we were there, um, his wife Kimberly she also comes from a very religious family as well, and so it was just a lot of strong power and will of God in the actual facility while we were having the reception. And so they gave their speeches and they spoke on their piece. Oh, they gave their speeches and spoke on their piece. But one thing that they harped on was marriage. And in my opinion, it's not just marriages, but when you're building
Relationships.
something with somebody else, whether that's a platonic relationship, an intimate and romantic relationship, marriage, whatever the case may be, it takes work. It's give and take. Nothing is easy. I can sit here and we can tell you like, yeah, we have a blast together. We go to sleep laughing, all of that, but it took work to get here. Shouts out to Ash, but it took work to get here. And so that was one thing that they harped on. They said, you have to make sure that you understand that there are going to be ups and downs. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. But if you're willing to put that work in, if you're willing to always communicate with your partner and talk about whatever the case is, then that will take you far. You keep God at the forefront and the center of your relationship, and you continue to just be there for one another. That's when things start moving how they need to move. That's when you can have those uncomfortable conversations and they don't feel as uncomfortable. Sidebar and segue. I have a line brother who actually just talked about this recently, and he jumped in the chat. I'm not gonna put all his business out there, so because I don't want him to get in trouble. But he jumped in the chat and was like, "Yo, I think I just folded. Like, I think my girl finna go off on me." And so we like, "What's the issue? Why she finna go off?" Maybe like 10 minutes later, he spun and was like, "Never mind, bro. I'm tripping. Like, I forgot she's somebody that I can actually have a conversation with." And so instead of her flying off the handle, it was more like okay, let's talk about it. And those are the types of conversations or situations that people need to be in my opinion. It's always going to be my opinion. I'm not going to tell y'all how to live y'all life. I'm just giving y'all what I think. And so it's very important to have that. And I am very confident in the future of their relationship solely based on the fact that they're able to have conversations, whether they're comfortable, uncomfortable, whatever the case may be. Even us, we have uncomfortable conversations sometimes. She'll hit me with I don't like how you did that. And I'll be like, okay, tell me more. And I've seen it across the board. Like there's several people that say, if you're not with somebody that can check you at the door, what's going on? Like I need to have that person to pull me to the side and be like, I know you comfortable in your ways, but they don't respond to that, or they're not like that, or this came off and this is another possible way that they could have perceived it.
Which I mentioned something last night to you about that.
Exactly. So it's good to have people like that in your corner because you look at all situations differently. I have a Neo who asked me to help him out with something, and he called me afterwards, was like, I really appreciate you pulling up. But one of the things that he said that stuck out to me, he was like, you know what I've realized? You never raise your voice. And I was like, that's crazy because I'm actually very loud. But I get where he was coming from. He hasn't, outside of certain aspects, he hasn't seen me
when you're
angry.
Serious, you're not loud.
Yeah, he hasn't seen I can't really, I can probably count on my hand how many people have seen me actually angry or upset. But even when I'm upset, it's kind of like I gotta approach it a different way because I can't be mad how I want to be mad and still get my point across. Everybody don't receive all of the messages the same way, but that's, like I said, a little sidebar, a little ramble, just in case y'all needed that.
And I think I really appreciated what her uncle said. So his aunt, because she's your aunt now.
Auntie Kim.
Her father is.
I got an Aunt Kim now.
Oh, you do.
I mean, I had an Aunt Kim, but we call her Aunt Pookie. But now I got another Aunt Kim on my mom's side. Auntie Kim. Shout
I
out
have
to
an Aunt
Auntie
Kim,
Kim.
so
Shout out.
now he's like
Hey,
he got an Auntie Kim too.
shout out to all the Auntie Kims across the world.
Yeah, we love y'all.
All Auntie Kims are real.
They really are. um, but so she had her father is a bishop, and then her uncle. I don't know what he is, but he is a pastor. And he's the one who married them. And he said something that really stood out to me. He was like, I'm not trying to be funny. All this God stuff is cool, right? But you got to make sure that before you get to Sunday, you get through Monday through Saturday.
He did say that.
And
I was eating a slice of cake though.
As much as God should always be at the head of your life, it's easy for us to not first go to Him. It's easy for us to be in our human, like, just stuff, right? And so if we're going to be in that human like stuff, we at least should have those godly ways, which are forgiveness. And even if you're not spiritual, just like those human necessities is what I like to call them. Like, just be kind and open-minded and respectful and have great manners. And be inquisitive. Like, ask the questions. If you don't understand, if he says something and I don't agree with it and I'm like, I don't like how you did that, I'm gonna ask him, but why did you do that? Because then if he explains why he did that, then it's like, oh, okay, well, I could see, it just happened with us. Like, okay, I could see now how you might have felt that way. But do you see how it made me feel? Okay, cool. So now that we both see how it made us feel, how in the future can we do it a little different to where you're not sacrificing your personality to please me, but in a way that shows respect to each of us. And again, that's important in friendships too. A sidebar. I am in search of a new church home, and I am exploring with one of our best friends, one of my best friends.
Not my little sister.
At her church, and they're doing a series called Deep Connections. And it was so impactful, this first session for me, because they talked about the importance, and I say they because it wasn't just a pastor, like it was his sermon, but everyone there talked about how important it is to have deep connections with the people that are in your life. And if you can't be open and honest, if you can't forgive, if you can't talk to each other, then it's kind of like, how can I call you my friend if you do something that I don't like and I can't go to you?
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep using the excuse of, oh, I don't know how they're going to react, or I don't know. Now, it does get tricky. And
so you do have to be mindful.
You have to be mindful.
But you also have to be 100% yourself.
Right. So let's say that let's say that he was not my fiance, right? Let's say that he was just my friend, because you're my friend too. So let's say you was just my friend and you were dating somebody. And as your friend, I see that this relationship is very toxic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to dissect what that toxicity is. Is it the two of y'all together? Is it the person? Is it situations that I don't agree with? Because that is what I might deal with, you might not. And what you might deal with, I might not.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in that relationship. And so I can't step on your toes. I can't insert myself into the equation. I can't do none of that. However, I can constantly remind you of your value and your worth and what you deserve. And I can remind you that you have to set boundaries. I have to remind you of the things that you have done in the relationship that might not be contributing towards a solution. I can remind you of your morals that you're compromising yourself, right? Now, if you come to me and you voice your opinion, I can ask you, okay, do you want me to listen to you right now? Like, are you just venting, or you would like me to give you advice? Am I giving you advice on what I would do, or am I giving you advice on what would help you progress, right? Which I think in the end, if you really, it takes a lot of work for you to be in a friendship where you can say what I would do, and that person not get offended or not do it just because you would do it, if that makes sense. Like, it got to be a real deep relationship.
Yeah, I was about to say it.
Because if we aren't that deep and I tell you, well, I would do this, you either gonna be like, well, I didn't ask you what you would do,
Yeah.
or you're gonna be like, well, that's good for you, but I'm not you.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if you my friend, you will understand why I would do that, because you would know me and my personality
Mm-hmm.
and my morals and values. But you will still be able to be like, you know what, Tiff, yeah, you would do that. I think this is what I'm gonna do though. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so it's important for us to have those type of friendships. And even when it comes to family, like, my family dynamics have shifted and changed over the years, as so many other people does. Um, but I think it's because we grow up and we have different mindsets. And so my folks know, don't come to me with no BS. And I mean that in the most respectful manner. Like, if it's an issue that has been repetitive and it is no good, don't come to me and actually ask me of my opinion, because I'm going to give you my opinion. And I'm going to do it in a respectful manner. I'm just going to be like, it depends. Like, I might say, you know what? I'm going to let you vent, but I have nothing to say. And that might eat you alive. Like, nah, Tiff, I need you to. I can't. You got to make that decision yourself. You got to figure out what's next to do, because we might have revisited this conversation over and over already, right? Or it might be a situation where we might not have revisited this conversation, but you have revisited this situation in your life over and over, to where you don't need other people to tell you and guide you anymore. You got to make that decision for yourself. But we have to have that type of relationship where we can come to each other. So I say all that to say, make sure you have deep connections with the people that are around you. Always forgive them. Don't forget, but don't keep record. Um, and so with that, what is one thing that you feel like is never ending tomorrow as it pertains to our relationship and holding together, strengthening our bond?
Our friendship.
I like that.
Your turn.
Um, I would say one thing that is never ending tomorrow for us, specifically in regards to this topic, is our willingness.
Mm.
So, no matter how upset I am, no matter how upset you are, even in the moments where you're so upset to where you shut down, I'm always going to be willing to hear you out. I'm never going to just completely shut you out. Even that time that wasn't recent, but was kind of recent, where I really, it's something that I'm still beating myself up about, because I know better and he deserves better. We deserve better. Um, Even in that moment when you were ready to talk and you came to me, I'm like, I want to hear you out. Are you ready to talk? Because I'm always going to be willing to work it out. I'm always going to be willing to hear whatever you have to say, because I have to, in order for this to work. And I don't necessarily need, not, I need it to work, but I also want it to work, right?
You're not saying that just because the camera on this.
No.
All right now, because I got proof now.
Um,
Documentation.
so that's one thing that is
Y'all heard
never
it
ending
too.
tomorrow. I'm always going to be willing to contribute, to listen, um, to forgive, and to put the work in. And as far as one thing that I consider to be a safety net for me in this here dynamic is, I know we always say it, we always say faith
Mm.
or like God,
Mm-hmm.
but that's my truth and I'm sticking beside it. I think that that is 100% my safety net. Um, and I think for us, even if we don't communicate verbally, I am I am secure in the fact that if I wanted to seek another form of communication, that you would be receptive to that too. And by that I mean, like, if I couldn't voice my opinion, but I wrote you a letter, you would read it and you would be willing to discuss.
Mm-hmm. I might write you back.
Literally.
We're
And
pen
we're not
pals.
even trying to be funny, like he really might. Um,
I'm very.
text message, voice memo.
I'm an easy
Because
guy,
sometimes,
easy guy.
yeah. So what we're not saying, y'all, is that you shouldn't have. What we aren't saying
That was definitely
is
her on the
that
mic. The mic had to. I'm sorry. What we're saying.
what we are not saying
What we're
is
not saying.
y'all are not gonna get into it with y'all people, and I mean people, not friends, family, partners, whatever, and you not shut down or you not be so upset you don't want to speak, you don't want to see each other, because that might happen.
Oh, it's gonna happen for sure.
It will happen.
It's a couple niggas right now I still don't like.
But I can say, okay, go walk away, and maybe I can't look at you right now because I'm so upset, but let me send this voice memo. So like, hey, so when da 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 da, this is how I felt, da 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 da. Because then when you get it out, you be like, all right. And when you get a chance, can you come in the room so we can talk? Like, maybe I just needed to get it out before I see you. So if that's,
She's also borderline psychotic though, so there's that.
he will not speak that over my life. Okay, I rebuke that in the name.
In the name of Tiffany.
In the name of the Lord.
Oh, okay.
Nah,
I'm just playing.
But I am a Virgo, so I am very meticulous and I'm very logical.
And vindictive. No, I'm playing. I'm just playing. I just ain't never used that word. I feel like this is the good time to just throw that out there.
And analytical.
Mm.
So I have to remind myself
You shouldn't be an analyst.
Be emotional.
You trying to say I'm emotional?
You are.
I am?
You are.
For real?
Very.
How?
Well, for one,
I feel like I be emotionless.
No. It's funny you say that because when you shut
y'all, she poked me in the fucking face the other day with these sharp ass new nails. But we'll get to that on another date and time.
Can I get the point out now? I feel like the reason why you shut down a lot, or I should not say a lot now, but when you have shut down a lot in the past, is because not just that is your way, but more so because it's me. And you might have done that in other relationships. Oh, your ex don't. They're like, girl, you did that, you know. It's different you're when that person means something to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a different level of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So if Ashley did something and it was upsetting to me, I might shut down differently than if Kinta did something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's no love lost, but the relationship is just different.
Mm-hmm.
And so if Kinta did something, I'd be like, yeah, babe, let me tell you what she did. And I just, I don't fuck that. But if Ashley did something, that's somebody I talk to every day, all day. Like, we locked in, been locked in since kindergarten. That relationship is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm shutting down and it might be a cry on your shoulder or this happened How do I move forward? Versus with Kinsey, you might be the one to have that conversation with her, like, hey, this happened, how you before we go there. And if we see each other 2 weeks later, we probably not even remembering it. You know what I'm saying? Versus her and I don't even need to let 2 weeks go by before we address that issue.
What you're saying makes sense, but I still don't see how. I don't see the correlation because
What
when
was
I
I
shut
saying?
down, I was asking how am I emotional. I feel like I was saying I feel like I'm emotionless because I shut down. But when I shut down, that's because I'm over it. Like,
But that don't be the case when it's to me, is what I'm saying.
oh,
You
because
might
why you
feel like
mad?
you emotional. I don't think it's that either.
That's what it
You
be.
literally be breaking down the issue. Like he's had moments where he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how we got here. Like you processing, you not just shutting down and I'm gonna plug my headphones in, I'm gonna listen to some music and call it a day. No, like you're thinking, you're confused.
Sometimes, most of the time, yeah. But sometimes I be like, fuck it. I don't know what to do.
He is sitting here lying to y'all.
I'm not. I'm talking to you. I'm telling you the truth. It's not a lot, but sometimes when I shut down, it's because I don't know what to do next, and I just be like, yeah, fuck it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But then I'd be like, well, we at least got to talk about it. So, for real.
All right, y'all.
She tired.
Is
Grandma tired.
tired down. I feel like I cannot get enough rest the past few days. Like, I don't know what is wrong, but I'm just tired, okay?
Yeah, when I put my head back, it feels good.
I'm tired down. Like, what have we been doing? No. Y'all, he been take these socks off.
When the socks come off, it's over with.
No.
It's me clocking out, boy. The socks come off, no, I'm in the bed.
Yeah, I know. You ain't even gotta be in the bed. You just
I'm done.
in a coma.
Hey.
I rebuke you. I'm sorry. You are knocked out. Sleep.
Hey.
You
There
sleep.
we go. There we go. I say everybody didn't have. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, this concludes yet another episode. Yeah, I tell y'all folks about this, man. Tell some people to follow, subscribe, comment, all that. We're gonna have some merch drop.
Please don't count how many times I've yawned during this episode.
I yawned twice. We tired. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, if y'all wanna, be on the episode, man, reach out. We'll see what we
Come
can.
on in.
We'll see what we can get you in on. We got some categories and some topics already squared away, but the more the merrier, man. This is not just for us. This is for everybody, loved ones, friends, family, strangers. Not strangers for real, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and tell us what y'all think.
Yeah, for sure. Give us feedback, man.
Be respectful, okay?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Be respectful.
I'll send the hitters.
But to be honest, let us know if there's something that you want us to touch bases on. Let us know if it's something we need to dive a little deeper into. Let us know if it's something that we don't need to talk about again. That's not to say that we're not going to talk about it again.
Yeah.
But
feedback for sure. Charisma. Let her know we need to be a bit more lively. My baby be dead sometimes. I'm a personality of the relationship. So just let us know if we need to go. All right, girl.
I'll let him have that. Because I wouldn't define it as the personality, but he is the character of the relationship.
So what are you?
Not the character.
Well, duh. If I'm the character, of course. What would you be?
I don't know.
I'm saying, what would you classify yourself as?
I don't know. What would you classify me as?
If we being real, real, I wouldn't, like, if it was a business, not even if it was a business, but if it was like a movie, and you know how people be having their names and shit, you be the executive.
I could see that.
Because my baby be salad, all dressing. You said what? You said what?
So I'm more like the executive and you're the character? Or you're in front of the scenes, I'm behind the scenes?
Yeah. You the executive. I'm the chief of staff.
No.
Yeah.
I'm the chief of staff. You're the
No.
president.
What president you know out here got more personality like me?
Obama.
First of all, shouts out to OB, but because
Don't
I
do
ain't gonna
him.
call him BO. That's rude. OB short for Obama. Not because I don't want y'all to think, oh, he don't know. It's Barack. No, I know. But I ain't finna say BO. That's rude. Anyway, I mean, shouts out to OB. I mean, but come on.
You are
I feel like I would be a good combination of Barack Obama, Kevin
Kevin
Hart,
Hart.
with a splash of 50.
I don't know.
A splash, like a dash.
Yeah, the asshole.
Whoa. Oh.
He's gonna insert a pause. I mean, like you are.
I'm just saying you
that
can't
part.
say
I'm sorry.
you can't say asshole after I say a splash.
You're you're that part of him.
You just
like,
called me diarrhea.
You're that part of him. Like you're the this.
Oh, she lifting up her skirt. It's time to
is.
end this.
Y'all, I got bit by something all over my legs.
We about to have a good time. Oh, that's probably gonna fuck the audio up. Damn. You look blurry back there.